my NCLEX exam is in 2 days. My situation might be a little different from yours. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Robin. I'm currently an ICU registered nurse, recent new grad here. So I just took my NCLEX-RN exam about 3 weeks ago or so. I'll link that video up, like to my reaction to it, up here somewhere. But this video, since now, you know, I've been getting some comments from my friends and like other people I know, and I also have my own experience with the test. I just want to go over a few resources and a few pointers and tips for any of you all who are about to take the NCLEX-RN or who wants to take the NCLEX-RN. So yeah, stay tuned, y'all. So I will be looking here at my phone. So I like got some notes here, and I just want to kind of talk about the things I feel works for me first. That's what I'm going to go about first. And before I get into all that, what I do want to say is do not take everything that I'm saying and think, okay, I'm gonna do it just like this and it's gonna come out just like that. Like, I have faith in anyone who's watching this video that you can pass that exam. Like, they put so much pressure behind it in nursing school, so much extraness behind it, so it's like, it's a lot intimidating. I ain't gonna lie, it's very intimidating. So it was a lot of anxiety that went behind this exam. Not feeling like, oh my god, I don't think I could pass, but it's like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't get tricked up. Because, you know, with nursing questions, it's about how do you actually answer the question and how do you like utilize the information that they're giving you in that question. So no overthinking. Oh, I remember this question from back then, such and such, or I remember my mama did this. No, it's fully textbook, and it's mostly like, they try to make it more common sense for the exam, because the NCLEX is a national exam, so it's based off of what everyone in the United States of America nationally has been taught. So the specifics you probably think you really need to know. Listen, if everybody else don't know that, it won't be on the exam. Or if everybody else wasn't meant to be taught that in their nursing curriculum, then the national board, they ain't gonna put it. So now let's get into the pointers. One thing that I really want you all to really take this and really know, that everyone has their own way of studying, everyone has their own way of taking exams, and everyone has their own way on breaking down questions. With me, I had to figure out a way that would best suit me on how to break down a question and not overthink, because I am a huge overthinker. That's just my personality. That's me. It's like, I feel like it's low-key like a scientist mindset. So it's like, I gotta do this because of this is that, and that is this, and it gotta be this. So I had to try to minimize that. It works out in some situations because usually overthinkers have a lot of knowledge, so I ain't gonna be too mad about that. But with the NCLEX, I knew that I had to prepare my mind to stick to what was being given to me in that question, not going too overboard. Yes, it's good to have background information from context and textbook information, but stick to what they're giving you and think about that first. Next, I want to say that in preparing to take your NCLEX exam, you have to practice questions. Okay? To me, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Practice questions are definitely one of the main ways to prepare for this exam. So I remember probably about a month before taking the exam, I would do probably 25 questions here and there, you know, through my normal Saunders textbook, or like I'll look up random questions, until I decided to purchase UWorld. Okay, UWorld, I feel like UWorld was hard. To me, I was like, why I keep getting 50% or 60% on these practice exams? Because on UWorld, I would start practicing with 75 question exams each day. Sometimes as the days got closer to the NCLEX, because I decided to take my NCLEX kind of soon, I used to pile up those 75 question exams. If you have a date where it's a little bit ways away, then you have, you know, you're good. Like, you could space out your 75 exam question tests, practice tests, and like go from there. You won't have to really rush. But with me, I kept getting 50%, kept getting 60% on the practice exams. Probably here and there I get close to a 70, or I get a 70%. But I used to beat myself up so badly until I realized that as long as you're doing average or above average, that should encourage you that you are on the right track. Because UWorld, they do this thing where they like show you the average of scores nationally on the people who purchase their test bank, and it should kind of encourage you, because like I said, the NCLEX is based on average. It's based on what average nursing student knows, the average information that is being taught to nursing students around the country. So I started feeling better and better, because it's like, okay, I'm sticking around average. I used to be probably 5 to 10% above average. Like if it was 55%, I probably got a 64% on the exam, or sometimes I got 53 when it was a 55% average. So I was like, okay, I feel like this is good. This is pretty good. So I wasn't trying to beat myself up too much. So yeah, practice questions is the way to go for sure. Okay, so next, this brings me to what I was saying before. With those practice questions, it is okay to get a lot of questions wrong, as long as you understand the rationale, you read them, you understand it, and if you get a question similar to that, you will be able to know how to break that question down, because you know why you got the question wrong before without just remembering it. I do know that memory helps a lot. Memory is like my best friend. I can remember everything, okay? I can remember so many things. I feel like I have a photographic memory. But with nursing, it's about a lot of application, a lot of analyzing. So making sure that you understand the rationale and understanding why you got certain questions wrong would definitely help you in the long run, because a lot of the information is recycled. The question may not be, maybe brand new, but the information is recycled with, as far as what do you do with a mother who comes in who's 32 weeks pregnant and she has some type of spotting, complains of pain, this, that, you know, stuff like that. Or you have a critically ill patient that you're caring for, and you have to know the basics of ventilation and respiratory status and restraints, how long you keep restraints on for. You know, like those are some basics that are usually used into like certain parts of the question that usually can help you, because those are like common, it's like common knowledge for nursing students and people who are coming out of nursing school ready to take this exam. So let's go into like breaking the questions down. When I was trying to prepare for the NCLEX, what I started doing was reading the end of the question first, and I'll alternate with looking at the answer choices first, so that I could get an idea of like what looks so good to me right now. Okay, out of these answer choices, what looks really good to me that could be a possible answer before I even read the question. Now, still read the question. I've always still read the question, but sometimes, you know, I feel like looking at the question first, looking at the end of the question first kind of helps, you know, minimize the extra fluff, the extra information that a lot of those questions like to put in sometimes, you know, the stuff you don't need. So I had to take that into consideration. And then when I did read the question, I would point out, I would literally write down keywords, okay? And mind you, when you take your NCLEX, they give you some form of material that you can write on. So I was able to write down certain things that stuck out to me. So if I saw something in the question, I was like, okay, this keyword stuck out to me. What do I know about this situation or this diagnosis or this disease that is right all the time? Facts about this. I write those details down about that, finish reading the question, and see what is the best answer that best matches what I felt the answer was before even, you know, trying to decide based off of the choices they gave me. If that made sense. I hope that made sense. Alright, so the next thing I did was I reviewed a lot of lectures. I say this because it wasn't even a lot. I probably listened to about 6 review lectures. It was Mark Klimek, Mark K. Yeah. I feel like he definitely helped put a lot of things into perspective. He definitely made you think more like a nurse who had to think quick on her feet or quick on his feet. Like, you have to think quickly. What would you do in a situation? Think about what is the most important, what's the most safe, efficient thing that could happen for you in a situation to protect your patient in situations like that. So I used to find him on YouTube. I know he does lectures, and you could definitely go to those lectures and you have to pay, but I did find a few lectures or notes on YouTube, and I'll listen to that or review that. And I didn't listen to all of them because I didn't have time. I booked my exam literally 2 days after I found out I had my ATT when I was approved to test. I was like, listen, I'm ready to take this test. I can't think about this test no much longer, but only if you're ready. I felt like I was ready, and I know I needed to be ready if I wanted to start working in June. So my situation might be a little different from yours, but yeah, I would definitely say reviewing his lectures or reviewing any lecture. They have a lot of nursing lectures on YouTube or even on other websites that I would do. So I would listen to the lecture and I do a couple questions afterwards, or sometimes I would do the questions before, like practice questions, do half of them, and then listen to a lecture, see how I did. Because with UWorld that I was using, it tells you instantly if you got it wrong or if you got it right, depending on which mode you had it in. I had it in study mode, so I was able to keep saying, okay, I got this wrong as soon as I got it wrong, or I got this right as soon as I got it right, with the rationale. I didn't have to wait until the end. So definitely that. And then also, if you feel like you do need a huge refresher on nursing material, I would recommend looking at your textbooks if you really need to. Like I did have the Saunders textbook. I had the Heyyyy program online where they had different content, but it was also like connected with Saunders. And you know, I obviously have other textbooks from MedSurg and pharmacology. I ain't gonna get sidetracked. That pharmacology textbook, I feel, would definitely also help you if you want to get more familiar with your medications, because pharmacology for me was the first semester of nursing. So having a nice review on some of those major, you know, groups of medication like ARBs, ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, stuff like that, your heart medications, your psych medications, peds, knowing dose calculations, knowing that peds is weight-based, you know, so stuff like that. Pharmacology definitely helps and put that into perspective. But also the Saunders textbook, if I really felt like the rationale wasn't clicking for me in UWorld, and I'm like, I still don't understand this, like I would go to my Saunders textbook, but that was very rare for me because I felt like UWorld did such a great job with breaking down the explanation to, okay, you got this wrong and this is why, remember this, that. And it was like, it was simple to me. I read the rationale probably 2-3 times before I click next. So if you have to write the rationale down, because I know a lot of people feel like, well, this is true, like writing things down helps stick things better in your brain. But in my case, I just read rationale over and over because, you know, I got that photogenic memory. I read the rationale over and over until, you know, I could pretty much reiterate what was shown to me. And then lastly, what I want to say is, do not compare yourself to others. Okay, if you have to put a nursing group chat on mute, do that. If you have to stay off certain things that constantly reminds you or constantly shows you of people in like nursing who is like, okay, this is hard, I don't know if I'm ready, this is that, mute all of that out. Thankfully, I had a good group of support. I had a good supportive group. Like they constantly encouraged me. I ain't gonna lie, I became a little negative when I kept getting frustrated with getting certain questions wrong on UWorld. I'm like, bro, I know this. The status used to get me every single time. If you know about status, then you should know, unless you just perfect on status. Status used to get me all the time. I probably got like 15 wrong in a row on UWorld. I'm like, yo, what's happening? My NCLEX exam is in 2 days. I should be doing a lot better with these status questions, or I feel like I'm not ready. And I used to have, like, you know, people in my nursing cohort, they used to be like, Robin, you got this. Like, get out your head, take a break, and go back to it. Like, you got it. Stop down yourself. You got it. So yeah, definitely don't compare yourself. And even when I was taking my NCLEX exam, I would say I took my exam, it took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes, or close to 2 hours, I'm not sure. I say close to 2 hours because, you know, even though I finished my exam with 75 questions, there were, you know, other things that they asked you, like surveys and stuff, so it took a little more time. But I was seeing people, they were getting up before me, and I'm like, you know, I gotta tune that out. I had to tune it out because, you know, people get up, you're like, all right, okay, cool, they did their thing, that's that. But I had to remember, like, with the NCLEX, everyone doesn't start at the same exact time. Like, it's based off of your appointment schedule and like the time that you get there. So literally you in your own world, and you can't worry about anybody else because this is your time. And once you're behind those little walls taking your little test on that computer, that's it, that's all that matters. I really had to keep that in mind, like, Robin, this is about you. Like, this exam is about you. Your name is on that computer. This is for your license, it's for your career, and you did everything you could. I went through about 2,100 test bank questions. Actually, I went through the whole UWorld, and I feel like that's about 2,100 if I'm not mistaken. So I went through all the test bank questions. I did not get to review all of the questions I got wrong. I went through half of them, but I will definitely recommend all of the questions that you got wrong. Go over that, understand the rationale, and I feel like you will feel a lot more confident, a lot more prepared to go on that exam, because it's like you did everything you could at this point. That's pretty much all the pointers I have for getting ready to take your NCLEX exam. To sum it all up, you have your own way of studying. Personalize it. Get UWorld if you can, or any other test bank program that is known for having successful rates for passing the NCLEX. UWorld definitely has a good predictor on that, so I would definitely recommend UWorld. Also remember that it's okay to not get every single question right. This is practice. That's why there's a practice test bank time period before you're taking your exam. Keep that in mind, because you're meant to know, you're meant to learn what you're missing before you get in that exam. Also, know how to break the question down. Do it the best way that you possibly can. It's all customizable. It's personable to how you work in your brain and how you want to break things down, because a lot of people will tell you like, hey, this is how you take a test, this is how you do this is how you do that. But at the end of the day, how do you take your exam? What do you feel gives you the most anxiety when you take your exam? So finding those things that challenge you during, you know, while reading the question or while trying to figure it out will help you figure out what you're missing. Also, review lectures. It's good to hear things. You see, you know, faith comes by hearing, and hearing, you know, to my people who know that verse, you know that verse. I feel like when you hear things, it definitely sticks in your brain a lot better, just like writing does. But just like music, you know, you hum a song, you do all that. When you listen to a lecture, I feel like it definitely helps you get out of reading things and helps you think about things a lot more clearer and in more detail. And then if you need to go back to your textbooks to look over more content and have a better, you know, textbook moment to yourself where you can just go over information and re-solidify it in your brain, definitely do that, because that does not hurt. It may take some time because you have to read things, but if you could get a test bank that gives you good rationales that are actually excerpts from textbooks, then I feel like you're perfectly fine. And lastly, do not compare yourself. Do not compare yourself. Even when it comes to the amount of questions you receive, a lot of people don't finish in 75 questions. Some people take all of the questions that they are provided. So don't let that discourage you if you did go past 75 or did go past 100 or something like that. As the end goal is what? The end goal is to pass the exam and get your license, and to do the best that you can, period. Like, that's it. So you guys, that brings me to the end of my video. I definitely enjoy giving tips or any type of questions, or if there's something that you feel like I did not answer when you're trying to prepare, or will help you prepare with getting ready to take the NCLEX-RN exam, definitely let me know down in the comments below. But I feel like it's all about your journey through it all, and like what you feel is best for you and how confident you feel. You have to go into the NCLEX-RN exam feeling confident. Any exam, you need to go in there feeling confident. So that is pretty much it, you guys. I do begin working as a registered nurse in about a week now, so I would love to update you guys on that when everything gets put into place and I'm starting and all that. So that brings me to the end. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next couple of videos. Bye.